Hi, and welcome to our virtual gardening program. My name is Diane Jaroch, and I'm the Assistant Director and Adult Services Librarian at the Irvin L. Young Memorial Library in Whitewater, Wisconsin. Today we're going to be talking about interior landscapes, or indoor landscapes. You can call it whatever you want. Indoor landscapes is basically the art of designing, installing, and caring for plants in an enclosed environment, which would be your home. You've probably been to big malls or office buildings where they have the plants and the waterfalls. That's an interior landscape. Those are done more professionally, obviously. The companies hire somebody to come in and create an indoor landscape. You, of course, could do that in your home. But indoor landscaping can be as simple as grouping plants together, using creative planters, and creating landscapes within your plants, which we will demonstrate in just a little bit. The idea of having an indoor landscape is just to soften the edges of your room or to accentuate an architectural piece that you might have that you want to highlight and give some honor to. So let's get started, and I'm going to show you some indoor landscapes. I'm going to start by showing you how a grouping of plants can be considered an indoor landscape. First of all, right here in front of me, I have a collection of teacups that have plants in them. And I group these together, and this has created an indoor landscape. These little teacups with plants in them constitute an indoor landscape. And as you can see, when I discussed having a landscape within your plants, this is kind of what I was talking about. You have your plant, and then you just add some little fun things to your plant. Here's one that's very simple. It's just a cactus in a teacup, and it has some colored stones just to give it some fun. A couple of others, very simple. This is a fig succulent. It's got some moss and then the succulent. Same thing with this. This is just a little clear pot. I put some stones in it, some dried moss, and then the fig succulent. Now, another grouping of plants that I have here that is considered an indoor landscape is behind me. I don't know if you can see them all, but there are 12 plants behind me. And they're all grouped together, so basically this wall is considered an indoor landscape. We didn't necessarily plan it. A lot of people do plan it, and that's something fun you can do. You can figure out what corner of your room, what wall, where you want to have those indoor landscapes, and then you can just go from there. It can be a really small nook in your room. It could be a big wall. Have some fun with it. You can't go wrong. Play around. You can always change it up if you don't like it. So we talked about the small landscape, little interior landscapes, the larger ones behind me. And like I said, that was not planned. What happened was we have a large picture window and another window, north and south, and there's sunlight all day long. And we found that the plants we had by the windows were really growing so well. So in the winter, this winter, we decided to bring all of our plants in that we could, gather them from different parts of the house that didn't get as much light, and we grouped them all together here. And they have done so well. A lot of plants go dormant in the winter, but some of these have gotten new leaves and new growth and are doing really well. So they seem to really like to be together. So let's talk about creating our little indoor landscapes. We talked about grouping plants together. Another thing is you can create your own little landscapes. For instance, here, these couple of teacups that have plants in them. If I wanted to create something fun with this, all I would need to do is to add something a little fun. Put a little figurine in there, set it down, it becomes more of a focal point. And if you have it grouped together, it looks really nice with your indoor landscape. Another thing is you can grow your own, make your own landscapes. I purposely grew wheatgrass in these containers to create little landscapes within my containers. I took some wheatgrass seeds, really easy. I took this container, I put some dirt in the bottom, some dampened dirt. I put the seeds on top, sprinkle them around. I purposely left the center a little open so I could put something in there. And this I did about a week ago. So I put the dirt in, dampened dirt, I put the seeds, I put some dampened dirt on top, a little bit to cover it. And then I just put it in the sun and I sprayed it every day to keep it moist. Now I'm ready to do something fun with this. So I'm just going to take these two little figurines I have. They're two little dogs. And I'm going to put them in here. This would be a really fun little science project for kids. They could grow the wheatgrass because it grows very quickly. I did put some stones in the bottom of this one. It's kind of hard to see because you see the roots of the wheatgrass. But it would be fun for kids to create this and then to put little things in there that have some meaning to them. Here we go. It's just a cute little, it's got two dogs in it. Very cute. Didn't take any time at all. In this teacup, I did the same thing. The wheatgrass is a little slow growing in here, I think because it's not totally glass all the way around. And this too, we could just take a little something, put in the middle, just to create a little landscape within your plant. It's really fun to get creative. And talking about wheatgrass, this is what wheatgrass looks like after 2 weeks of growth. You can cut it off. You can eat wheatgrass. It's very healthy for you. And it's a really nice ornament, and cats love it. In fact, I caught my cat munching on this earlier today, so it's good for cats. It won't make them sick or anything. Another cute type of indoor landscape, you get creative with your planters. This one hangs. You could have live plant in here. This one I did not do a live plant simply because it's winter and I didn't want to go and risk getting succulents that might not survive the winter weather. This was very easy to do. It took very little time. What I did was I took a bag of sand, about 3/4 full of this size sand. I put it in my pot and you can see the back. And then I took moss that I purchased at a craft store. It's not too expensive. You can get it online. Amazon sells it. And I shoved some moss in there. I shoved a fake little plant. I believe it was an aquarium plant. Shoved a little plant in the back. And then I just took a little figurine and stuck it in there. And I've got the sand, so it's kind of like, a little beach scene. Kind of a exotic looking scene. But you could hang this up, put it with other plants, nice little indoor landscape. And I will tell you that some of these ideas I got from books that we had at the library. So be sure to check out what books we have that you might find some fun, interesting things in. Okay, I have one more landscape to show you. I'm going to move these out of the way because it's rather large. This is the other landscape that I created. I saw something similar done and I wanted to recreate it, so this is what I came up with. Now, let me get this so that we can get a better look at it. This was very easy to do. I found this container. I took some of that moss that I purchased and mushed it down in the bottom. I will say that I decided that I was going to use fake plants. I wasn't going to use real plants because, again, it's winter and I was afraid that the plants wouldn't survive. Succulents don't do well if you're just introducing them to your home in winter. They're very fragile when you first bring them home. So I thought, okay, let's just use fake succulents. So I did. So what I did was I'm going to put this here. This is the battery pack for the fairy lights I'm going to turn on in a minute. I took this, packed it with this moss, and then I went from there. I found this little camper online that I thought was really cute, and it's solar powered. It's got a solar panel on it, so you could use this indoor or outdoor. In the summer, I can put this out on my porch. Then I just added elements to it. I put this little froggy in there. I put 6 fake succulent plants, and then I took some dried bark to create a path. You could also use a bunch of these little logs. So I created a little path. And then at the end of my thing, I wanted the illusion that, oh, we're off camping and just beyond the campsite is a lake. So I created this. At the end it says, mermaids swim here. I added a few fake flowers to the edge. And that was all I did, except I added fairy lights. So let me turn those on for you. And they are falling off. I didn't secure them very well. So let me get that battery pack here and turn them on. Hard to see during the day, but there we have. This would be an indoor landscape all on its own. There's everything there for a nice indoor landscape. You can see my little corner there with the mermaid. Very simple. And you know, this didn't cost a lot of money to create either. The items that I used were very inexpensive. I was able to get a bag probably about this size of little figurines for like $6. That was very, very surprising to me, and I was very happy. So this is really fun to create. Now, if you wanted to replicate this with the live plants, you would just need to do things a little differently. You would find a container, a nice tray. They make really deep trays for gardening, about like this. They look like, you know, a cake pan. And you would take a garbage bag and put it on the bottom so that things won't leak out. And then you would put some stones, just little pea gravel, about this size. You would put that in the bottom of your container. And then you would put your dirt, your soil, and then you would add your succulents to it. You could also use succulents that were already in a container and just set them in if you wanted to do that. You can get really creative. So if you were going to use the live plants, that's the only thing you would have to do different. Instead of using the dried moss, you would use soil, maybe live moss, and live plants. They don't have to be succulents, they could be whatever you wanted. Just be creative. This was really fun to do. I felt like I had really achieved something after I completed this project. I mentioned that we have lots of books at the library with ideas, so I'm going to show you a couple other ideas that you can get for creating some interior landscapes in your home. Don't be afraid to try new things. Also, we do have this book on microgreens, which you can learn how to grow the wheatgrass, your little wheatgrass landscapes. We'll put this up here. And this book is where I got the idea to do the wheatgrass and to put the little figurine in. And you can see they put some colored stones and things. I kept mine pretty simple. I wanted to make sure the wheatgrass was going to actually grow, so I just used soil. This book is called Decorating with Plants, and it is really nice. It gives you lots of fun ideas. You can see on the front there, look, they've created an indoor landscape. Boom, they took the plants they had, they put up some shelves, they stuffed the plants on there, arranged them in a nice way, and they had an indoor landscape. I'll show you a few others just so that you can get some ideas, because of course, I hope after this program you're going to be inspired to do something fun in your home. There's another idea using wall space. And Here's a fun one. This one has a bird cage in it. They put a plant in a bird cage. You could use a bird house. That would be really neat. And here, this is a little different. They've used like wooden, kind of like the wood bark for a couple of the planters. And I imagine that some of these are air plants. I know that one for sure is an air plant. Air plants are very easy to work with. Show you another idea. This would be like maybe an office space. You know, these days so many people are working from home. Add some plants to your workspace. You will feel so much better, calmer, more productive. Your employer will love you for it. Again, this book is Decorating with Plants, and we do have it at the library. Except right now it's in my home, not at the library. Another good one is The Unexpected Houseplant. And there were just a couple pictures in here I wanted to show you. Talking about like wanting to accent or show off a piece in your home. This one, they put plants in a planter and put it on top of a vintage piece of luggage for a kind of a fun, different look. Don't be afraid to try different things to plant your plants in. Gardening shops have plenty of different kind of plastic containers to put inside of things so that you can pretty much turn anything into a planter. I wanted to show you this one because here again, the person, they took their plant and they added a little critter in there. So they created a landscape within their already potted plant. Again, this one is called The Unexpected Houseplant. We have plenty of other books at the library that you can get ideas from. You can get ideas online, from Pinterest. The options are endless. Don't be afraid to try things. Don't be afraid to use weird containers for your planters. And please, have fun creating your indoor landscape. Have a good day, and thank you for joining me. And join us again in March. In March, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna start planting seeds. Well, not till the end of March. The first program in March will be about gathering everything you need to grow seeds. And the second one in March, we will be actually growing seeds. And you know what that means. Spring is coming. It's right around the corner. So come back and join me again for the virtual gardening, second and fourth Mondays at 10 o'clock. Thank you.